Hey guys, I'm Francis Booker and welcome to Under the Hooded. Today I'm trying out a new kind of video, a little bit different than what I've been doing. But one I want to try out and do some more of in the future. It's going to be kind of a more low-key video. I'm going to be just kind of giving you guys updates on some of the stuff going on behind the scenes of the channel, behind the scenes of the different writing projects we've been working on, and a little bit behind the scenes on our personal lives as well. So it's going to be very relaxed, much more low energy. So if that's something that interests you, please stick around. And if it's not, check out the channel for some of our more high energy, crazier videos. Where do I start? I guess I'm recording this, what is today's date? July 16, but it's 1 a.m., so the 16th just started. So I guess I have 7 months worth of information to update you guys on, because that's when the channel started and I've never done an update before. So 7 months ago we started this channel, and we have been working on it since. So 7 months ago we started the channel. We did, what would that be, like maybe like two and a half months worth of videos before we got quarantined. So because of that, obviously we had to adapt. We really barely understood our own system at that point, and then we suddenly had to change our system entirely, which was a pretty big shock to the system. We took a while to even figure out how we were going to record remote videos, and there were a couple of at least definitely one full session of recording videos that we did, where all the videos had to be thrown away because there were too many technical issues. Once we figured it out, things started to go a little bit smoother, but there's still some technical issues that we encounter whenever we do a remote video, because in order to do it, the way that we do it at least, and there's probably more efficient ways, but the way that we've been doing it is that I record myself over here and Michael records him on his side completely separately. And then he gives me the footage to edit and merge kind of into one cohesive video. And the issue has always been on that kind of transfer side, so we run into some issues there. Thankfully, now that things are opening up, we're kind of at the point where if we really wanted to, Michael could give me a flash drive with all of his video on it. We just haven't done that, but that's probably something we should do because it would speed things up a lot. There was a point in the channel where we were really slacking on videos, and that is 100% my fault. Essentially what happened with that was I didn't want to record remote videos, and I didn't record solo videos at that point, because that just wasn't what I had in mind when I first made the channel. It was really supposed to be, Michael and I, us with guests or whatever we were gonna do. And I knew, and I still kind of think it's true. I mean, we've been doing the best we can, but it's hard to produce quality videos under those kind of circumstances. And we've been doing the best. I think we've gotten some interesting and fun videos out. But on the whole, I think they're not as fun as they were before. So I wanted to minimize how many of those we did, but in doing so, underestimated how long the quarantine was going to last, and also just wasn't thinking ahead. So what would happen was, Wednesday, Thursday would roll around. We try and get videos out every Friday, and we have no video, and I would record something on Wednesday and then edit it on Thursday and just barely squeak by and get it out on Friday. but that was not a sustainable system, especially because of the way that I like to get videos done for this channel. I prefer to do them in gigantic batches, and just I can't kind of get bit by bit done like every week, but I can sit down and spend like a full day editing videos and have like a month's worth done. And so because I couldn't do that, there were several weeks where we missed videos. That's just kind of the way it was. At this point now, I'm starting to get more comfortable with doing solo videos. Starting to get more comfortable with doing videos without Michael, and doing the remote videos we're getting better at. And then kind of the combination of all of that has led to a pretty big production boom. So hopefully things are better now. We're still not perfect with our video releases, but we're better. Other than that, that's really been about it for the channel. We have some interesting ideas for stuff coming up, but we've had a lot of these ideas. Specifically what I'm thinking of is kind of more writing tutorials, because it's kind of funny, when we first made the channel, it was very focused on writing, and then we realized that we wanted to shift more towards the comedy side, but you know, we don't want to lose touch entirely with our roots. So like I would like to do some kind of writing tutorial in the future. It's an idea I've been kicking around for months now, and I haven't actually gotten to. But that's something that we're hopefully going to do in the future. Hopefully Michael and I can get together and record some in-person videos, which would be really fun. But that's pretty much all I got for updates for the channel. Writing updates are kind of more interesting, I think. So we have some stuff coming down the pipeline. So we obviously have Stan, the Hooded Book 1 has been out since December. We are working on a book 2 right now. I'll come back to that one though. One of the things that is really exciting is that, and I don't know if it's been released yet, so check the description below. It'll either tell you that it is coming soon, or it will have a link to it, depending on whether or not it's out yet. But we are releasing a brand new web novel that's going to be on the Under the Hood website. And I'm super pumped for it. At this point, it's still going through some editing, but the parts that have already been written, the parts that are going to be released in the near future have already been written. They're just being edited now, and it's going to be kind of released chapter by chapter. And it's interesting for me because I'm going to release the chapters before I've written the next one. So unlike with kind of the full book where I had to write the entire book before anybody saw any of it, this one's going to be interesting because it is going to be coming out bit by bit. And to accommodate for that, it is a more episodic kind of story, with each chapter kind of being a little bit more self-contained. Obviously, it connects to a larger story, but it is a little bit more episodic in that way. So it's a really interesting project, and I'm super excited for you guys to see it. It's a little different than the Hooded 2. It's a modern world. It is more of a superhero story than normal fantasy, but it's almost like superhero urban fantasy kind of thing. So I'm very excited for you guys to see that one. So please check the link in the description, see if it's up right now. It is totally free to read online. And once it comes out, we'll also have more videos and updates and kind of fun stuff about that too. So that's one that I'm super excited about. And it's been one of the big projects that I've been working on for a while now. Coming back to the Hooded though, we do have kind of a tentative release date for the Hooded that has been pushed back. Originally, the tentative release date was summer 2020. That's no chance that that's happening anymore. We pushed it back to fall, and I don't think fall is going to happen either. So now our tentative release date is end of 2020, so like December 2020 is the ideal. Likely it's going to be pushed back a little bit more into the beginning of 2021, but we just don't have it's not at the point where I can make a really good educated guess. So for the writing of it, we have about a fourth of the rough draft finished. So that's pretty good, and we're working on it. We have more or less the outline of what's going to happen. Very, very rough outline in my head. It's not actually written down. But I mean, it's should be a good book. And there's some really cool stuff that we've already written, and there's some really cool stuff that's going to happen in that other 3/4 that haven't been penned quite yet. I'm super, super excited for that to come out as well. One of the some of the nice things though about book 2 that should hopefully make its production a little bit faster than book 1. I mean, there's a lot of things on the very technical side, but one of them is that we know now what has to happen once we get to the end of the process, so we can do things like the cover before. So but when we did the first book, we didn't really think about the cover until we were publishing it, and then it was something like, oh, we don't have a cover. But now we know, this cover has to be done. We know how to make the cover. And that's going to be something that we can work on and get some drafts done before the book is even finished being written. And we have ideas of what the cover is going to look like. So that's really exciting too. That's pretty much it for Hooded news, though. We're coming along. I am in the process. If you're interested in kind of my process for this, I have a fourth of the book written. But I wrote that before I did all the Ring of the Paladin stuff. So now I'm actually going to be rereading Stand, the first book. And I'm doing an annotated copy this time. So this is something I've been thinking about doing for a while. And I figure if I'm rereading it, I might as well just do it because it doesn't take that long to actually do. Where I read it and I make comments as I go through that are either kind of fun behind the scenes stuff or genuine notes to me. That way, when I continue working on book 2 and when I eventually get to book 3, I won't have to actually read Stand in like a ton of depth, and I can kind of rely on my own notes that I've already made for it. Not that I don't love Stand, but when you've read it as many times as I have read it, after a certain point, you gotta just say, okay, I don't want to have to read it for the 10th time. Although it is kind of fun still. Every now and again, I'm like, okay. I could get behind it, but I do. If I could speed the process along, it might be better. So I'm working on that annotated copy right now. I'm going to be rereading book 1, and then I'm going to be rereading the fourth of book 2 that we have written, and then kind of jumping off from there. So that will be exciting. I'm very excited for that. The only other writing news that we have, and again, I don't know when this is going to come out. I'm hoping sooner than this is over. But we have the contest that we're hosting is ongoing, hopefully. Depends on when you're watching this. It ends August 30th. When we're really, really excited. We've gotten submissions for it. We've gotten hits on the site for it. We're very, very excited to see how that all plays out. So if you are watching this, you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the website and go to the Under the Hooded Monster Contest. It is a short story contest we're hosting right now, and there's a cash prize and publication on the website, and we are pumped for it. I have no clue what kind of submissions we really have, because whenever I get one, I put it in the folder with all the other submissions. And I'll kind of skim through it just to see what we're looking at, but I haven't read a single submission in its entirety. So I'm super, super pumped to read them. I think they're gonna be fun, and I'm interested to see what people cooked up with the prompt. So that's the only other kind of writing thing that's going on. Is there any other kind of business side stuff that's going on? I can't think of anything else offhand right now. as far as our personal lives are going, I can't really speak too much for Michael. I don't exactly know what he does on a day-to-day basis. Michael has, I gotta actually ask him because I'm not sure. He has at least one more semester of school before he graduates, maybe 2. There was a point where he said it might be 2, but I think it's still just 1. So he will be graduating from college in December, which is going to be really exciting for him. Then he has to go find a job. Good for him. For me, I graduated in May, so I'm officially done with college. However, I am going on to more school, so I'm not done with school. I don't know how much of this I've mentioned stuff kind of in passing, but I might as well explain it all in detail. I went to the College of the Holy Cross for my undergraduate. I got a degree in chemistry, so I am a chemist by education and training. But I spent my time there as a pre-med student. I am in the process right now of applying to medical school, so that has been one of the kind of big things that have been going on. Is I had to take my MCAT last month, which was, if you're not familiar with the medical process, the MCAT's the really, really big medical college admissions test. Essentially the SAT for medical school, but unlike the SAT, this one tests knowledge on most of the pre-med courses. So biology, chemistry, physics, psychology, sociology, biochemistry, like a bunch of stuff. So I had to take that. That was kind of a big chunk of June for me, was preparing for that exam. I got my scores back. My scores were fine. So now I'm actually going through the application process, which is a whole nother beast. Especially this year because things are so weird and they're trying to figure out what they want to do for a whole bunch of stuff, especially with like interviews, whether they're going to do remote interviews, whether they're going to bank on people being able to fly out to whatever schools. So that's kind of all coming together right now for me as well. The medical application process starts now and will continue on well into the spring. So I have kind of a year where I'm not in medical school quite yet, so I'm going to be doing actually a master's program in human nutrition. So that's kind of an exciting thing. And so I'm also kind of preparing for that program as well. But that's what's been going on in my personal life. I think that's pretty good for an update. If you guys have any questions for me about other stuff you're curious about or things you want me to talk about, let me know. But I've been Francis Booker, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.